All right, so we're looking at some patterns today. So what are patterns? Pattern is the repetition of a repeating shape, design. Now, one of the big things about pattern design is that we're seeing a repetition of movement, a repetition of design, a repeating of same shapes. Lights and darks also gives us a sense of rhythm, which is also another form of a pattern. So here we have a triangular shape that's interlaced with another triangular shape, and all of this is done in a circle. So we have a circle, 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 and as that piece is repeating, you're also getting lights and darks being repeated as well. So in your design, think about how you can incorporate pattern, repetition, and movement all in one little piece. So this is your quick example that you're going to work on, and then bridge that into the tessellation design, and then create the mandala design after that. It's one long unit, but you got 3 different awesome projects ahead of you. So good luck on your pattern designs. Give us a lot of essence and give us a lot of design and detail work in there. All right, so for this pattern that we're looking at up here, this is a great example of where we're going in this project. This is a mandala S. Where we're going in this project, this is going to give us a good representation of what our future project is going to look like, which is a mandala design. Mandala design is an Indian influence-based design based upon the roundness, spirituality, lots of color, lots of vibrancy in the overall design. But this is a basic pattern design. That's what I want you guys to start focusing on today. So the whole design was built out of circles, and even though in the middle here you can see a lot of square design over the squares on the side, it's all being caused from where the circles are being overlapped. Now somebody drew the little square in there. Yes, I'm giving you that one. However, this is what I want you guys to be thinking about as you guys are working on these pattern designs. Now for your pattern designs, you guys are going to be working, now for your pattern designs, this is the middle project that we're going to be working on after we start working on patterns initially. You guys are going to create a tessellation design. Now tessellation design is this essentially, which is basically a giant puzzle. You're going to make individual puzzle pieces, and the puzzle pieces have to lock in on each other. Let me show you a quick example. Alright, so this is a real quick, simple example of a tessellation. You got a little fish, and you can see how the fish is interlocking on itself. So as one piece has been cut out, that section has been subtracted from one side and added to the other. You're going to be doing this with little squares that I've already pre-cut for you. And once the sides are interlocking one way, you're also going to subtract from the bottom edge and bring it to the top. That way you have a full rounded piece that interlocks on itself just like a nice puzzle piece. Now, we've been using these for our openings to help bridge us into our project here. This is a piece by MC Escher. You can see how the tessellation is highly influenced in his art and work styles. You can see some more examples up there at the top. But what I like about his is you have the bird and the fish, and as they come together, you can see the simple tessellation piece from this shape translating into the other parts of the design. So as you're working in your design and you've made your little cutout, think of what design pattern or what design you can add into that shape to give some sort of essence so it looks like an MC Escher piece of work. Alright, so today what we got is a couple examples for what we're going to use for our pattern design creations. Alright, so over here I've got some manila paper that I've already taken care of cutting it up for you guys. This is a 3 by 3 inch square of some manila paper, a piece of tag board, which is a little thicker than manila paper, and you guys are going to be using this for the main tessellation body design piece, which I got another video for you guys to check out. And then I have these little triangle slivers. These pieces are going to be for our little functional math lesson that we got to do real quick. Oh no, it's art class, we got to do math. Alright, well let's go ahead and over some basic things. Alright, so 3 by 3 inch square. Alright, this is for applying math inside of something where you're actually going to use it for the rest of your life. Now, for me, I use math every single day. The main thing I use it for is geometry based objects. So, if I take a 3.5 inch square, I fold this in half. So, a square that has equal sides, 3 inches, divide in half, that should be what? 1.5. 1.5 by 3. So then this piece I can go ahead and tear in half. So I got the half now, so it's a 1.5 inch by 3 inches. So if I take this and I cut it along the diagonal, and all I gotta do for this is fold it on the diagonal. Nice diagonal line crossing, going across the paper from corner to corner. Nice diagonal. So for those of you that don't know what that is, that's the one that goes from this top corner to this bottom corner. It's slanted. Over here we got a little vertical line and a horizontal line. So we got all three of those knocked out real quick so you know what the differences are. Let's not say to our friends which one that is, because you know that's not going to end up well. So then we'll cut this in half and we'll end up with our little triangle pieces just like this. So this is a quarter of this because I can get 4 of these little bad boys out of this square. Because if I take my 2 halves and I cut them in half, I have 4 pieces. Simple math, guys. Let's make it easy on ourselves. All right, so we're going to take this, and your task is to create a design where you're going to take the triangle, trace it on the paper, rotate around, flip it the other way, however you want to move it around to get a pattern design. Quick example. All right, so a quick example of working a pattern design. So I have a pinwheel design that I started out, and then I wanted to hook another pinwheel design into that one. So I connected it sideways across using another pinwheel to put onto it. Then I did a radial pattern design. It's called a radial pattern design because it goes in a radial pattern, which is also the radius. If I have 2 pieces together, that is the diameter. One piece from center point going outward is the radius. And then I have a radial design pattern that would go all the way around. Now what would look really cool with this, if we wanted to design a set of rims, I would put a little design on this piece, and then I would trace that onto my other pieces. So then as the design goes around, I have a really nice radial design pattern that would be also emulative of a really cool rim that you'd see on a car. Work on your pattern design, give me a really cool design, knock it out on the paper, give a little bit of detail into those little triangle things. Have fun with it. Later. All right, for this project, we're going to be working on mandalas. All right, what's a mandala? Mandala is an Indian-influenced piece of artwork. And a mandala essentially is a giant circle that has been divided up into different sections to show different radiuses in the entire piece. Akin to this would be a radial design. That would be the most simplistic art term that I could probably give this thing. However, this piece is not just a simple circle with some lines and designs inside of it. This is a piece that represents wholeness, it's purity. What is a mandala? The mandala is derived from the Sanskrit word. The mandala is from classic Indian culture, and it loosely translates into circle. But as I said, it's a representation of wholeness. It's a very spiritual piece. That you're going to be working on to help facilitate our design work. Now, for this piece alone, we're going to be working with principles of design and elements of art hand in hand. We're working with shape, balance, proportion, unity, and variety. We want to have all these elements and all of these principles interworking together to create a beautiful design in the artwork. Alright, to assist us with our mandala project, I've got this nice cool book here. It's called The Round Art of Astrology. And inside of it's got a lot of really nice pictures. Alright, so this is a really good representative picture of a mandala where you have a lot of design work that's focusing around a radial pattern. So everything that starts from the center point So everything that starts from a center point and it radiates outwards. Now this one's going in a star pattern, but it's not just in the center, but it's also... You have that star pattern radiating out completely from that center point, and it's repeated again and again and again as it goes out to the outer edges. Nice colorization, full detail all the way through. Now this example is an example of a Tibetan Buddhist mandala where you have Vishnu, which is one of the Indian gods, in the center of this. And as it radiates outward, you have pictures of all of 8 different radiating pieces of the Buddha surrounding Vishnu in the center. So it goes out from the circle out to an oval piece that goes to a wider circle, to a square, to another square, to another circle that's encased with all these little lotus petals. Lots of design, lots of variation, lots of technique. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to get a mandala piece of paper like this. Front and back, you have two on there because you're going to be doing two of them. Dos por favor. So working from that center point, I want you to radiate your design going outwards and away from that center point. So everything is blossoming outwards. And when you are done with your drawing portion, you're going to come in with some crayons to do the color illustration. Now, because we're using crayons, I want you to marry the waxes together. So don't just use one color here, one color there. Get those colors to blend on top of each other so you got a lot more technique added into it.